Big Value, Big Business Podcast, episode 13.
Welcome to the Big Value, Big Business Podcast with James Lynch, where we talk with today's most successful marketing minds about getting the right message in front of the right people and getting the right people to become your customers for life. And now, your host, James Lynch.
All right, welcome back, my friends, to yet another edition of the Big Value, Big Business Podcast. I am your host, James Lynch. I am really big time super excited about my very special guest today. His name is Mr. Oli Gardner. Oli is the co-founder and creative director at Unbounce.com. Unbounce.com is a landing page building platform for marketers that provides the easiest way to build and A/B test targeted landing pages for your online marketing campaigns. Now, Oli has been quoted as saying, "I've seen more landing pages than anyone on the planet." And that's a pretty big claim. He's also a self-proclaimed opinionated writer on conversion-centered design and inbound marketing. Oli has also been known to have the occasional brush with, let me see if I can get this right, the charismatic quadrupedal megafauna, which I can only speculate to have something to do with helping to protect endangered wildlife species. But I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of all of this. Let's say a big hello to Mr. Oli Gardner. Oli, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me on, James.
That's cool. Hope you got a chuckle, bro. Yeah, give me that charismatic quadrupedal business there.
Charismatic quadrupedal megafauna. Basically, that means big, sexy, four-legged animals.
Nice. All right. And it's for the proliferation and protection of said big sexy, correct?
Yeah, indeed. That's how I like to spend my time when I'm doing photography.
I love it.
Getting in harm's way of things I shouldn't be standing in front of.
Living dangerously. I love it. All right, man. Cool. Well, listen, I want to thank you officially for coming on the show today, and I'm really excited to get your unique perspective on how we can offer more valuable content and achieve higher conversions with our website in the process. Sound like a plan?
Sounds awesome.
Awesome. First, can we get a little bit of history about you? I've given just a little intro to where you're at today, but give us a little history about where you came from and kind of what brought you here to where you are today.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we started Unbounce about 4.5 years ago. Six co-founders, which is pretty unusual. We've worked together on and off for the last 14 years in a bunch of different companies, and it just seemed that the time was right that we're all either not working or some people were doing contracts that were finishing up, and we just thought, why don't we work together again? Our CEO, Rick, had two ideas. We voted on which one we were going to do. We chose correctly. I'm really happy we didn't do the first one because it was a pretty terrible idea. And yeah, it's just been 4.5 years of amazing growth, and just, we have 42 staff now. It's it's amazing. Every day I look around the office and it blows me away.
And that's so Unbounce has been around for approximately 6 years?
4.5.
4.5. Okay.
We publicly launched, so just over 3 years in the hands of our users.
Cool. So tell me, before Unbounce, and go as far back as you care to, or not. How have you always been an entrepreneur, or did you actually work for the man? Or can you tell us a little bit about that?
I worked for several men and women. Going way back, I started completely different. I started as a programmer in the financial district in London. Did that for a few years, then made my way over to front-end web development. Worked for a big online gambling company called Bodog for a while. That was a lot of fun. I moved on to run a usability team and then became a creative director. And then the day we started Unbounce is the first day I became a marketer. So I'd never done it before. Yeah, so that was an interesting way to kick off a new company.
Would you consider that to be your entrepreneurial turning point?
Yeah, I mean, I'd always had a little bit of the instinct, but um, never from the perspective of here's an idea, let's officially make a company and see where we can take it. I think it was in my blood from the amount of money I managed to gouge out of my parents' pockets for doing housework when I was a kid. But
Once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur.
yeah.
Love it. Love it. So that being your turning point coming into Unbounce and that starting off your marketing career, dude, you're a monster though. I see you. I heard about you before I heard about Unbounce. I mean, your blogs are everywhere. Your blog posts and your introspective take on conversion and conversion design. You are a name in the industry that is very well known. Tell me a little bit about obviously starting your own business or
Yeah.
co-founding your own business. There had to be some challenges there. Could you maybe shed some light on some of the challenges you had and how you managed to get over them? Because you're rocking now.
Yeah. Well, early on with Unbounce, the challenge was the same that every online business faces, and that's getting people to show up so you can grow the business. The way we did it, first off, we put a website up. It's a two-page website, first day, a little WordPress thing with a blog on it. So, and we started blogging the very first day, and that's huge because I wrote a blog post pretty much every day for a few months, and all of a sudden you've got 30, 60, 90 pieces of content, right? And at the same time, I was aggressively building our Twitter account so that we would have a medium for pushing the content. And it's just a lot of hard work. I spent 4, 6, 8 hours every day just growing the Twitter account for the first 6 months. It was just I was either writing or I was doing that. They're the only two things I did. Um, and then soon enough we had over 20,000 followers and a lot of content. So that kind of gets our channels going. We have the inbound channel for organic for the content and the blog. We have a channel to push the blog on Twitter and elsewhere. But then that gets the momentum going. But at some point we need to build a list of leads for when we launch the company, right? We need some people ready to jump into our beta launch.
Sure.
So we need to do some lead gen, and lead gen is hard to do if you don't have anything to give away. So I decided we'd write our first ebook, which was 101 landing page optimization tips. To do that, we just went around to one of the founders' houses. I ran a 2-hour brainstorm. I had 14 questions, and each question, we get a whole bunch of stickies and put them all over the wall. Each question became a chapter. Then I wrapped them up, went home, and I wrote all night. Pulled an all-nighter, but I don't know, 16 hours. Came back the next day with a finished ebook.
Get out of town. Within 16 hours, you got the main lead magnet
Yeah.
that started Unbounce.
It was kind of crazy. Lots of Red Bull, which I'm sipping right now as we speak, actually.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah.
If it works.
It's funny though, because one of the other founders was saying, really, we're going to spend 2 weeks making an ebook, which would have been valuable in itself. But I'm like, no, I'm going home. I'll see you guys when it's done. So next day we put that up, and that was our lead gen mechanism for the next 6 months or so. It was on the homepage of our site. We pushed it through the blog. It was on our Twitter account information and background. So that was the thing that was everywhere associated with our name. So that started things. That's the lead gen aspect, but you can't grow fast just doing lead gen. You have to build brand awareness at the same time. So for that, I started guest posting, and I kicked things off by guesting on the SEO Moz blog, now Moz. And that was one of the smartest decisions I've ever made.
Not a bad place to guest post and get accepted.
Yeah, because anyone can get in on the UMOS blog, and if it's really good, it gets pushed through to the main one. So there's none of that editorializing kind of barrier to entry that you get in a lot of blogs. So the first one I did was great. And then the second one I did just blew up. It was the Noob Guide to Online Marketing, which took me months to create. It was a 15 million pixel infographic and a 6 month course in marketing. Basically, it was telling a story of how I became a marketer in this first 6 months. So it was fun to write from that perspective. And that's been shared, downloaded over 150,000 times, translated in 7 languages. Just that really put us on the map.
Cool. Is that still being downloaded today?
It is. I don't pay much attention to it anymore. It just kind of sits there. Maybe I'll update it one day. But
yeah, we need the 2.0, dude.
yeah, it's funny. We get the occasional photo of someone who's printed it out and put it on the wall. It's about 6 feet long.
Oh, wow. I do remember it. I'll have to, and actually we'll have to get the URL a little bit later, and so I can put it in the show notes, because I do remember it as well when it came out. So cool. Yeah. So challenges would be, in the beginning would be lead generation and then brand awareness. So basically getting your name out there and just getting people interested in you. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and the important thing is to split it up between the two. I remember listening to Dharmesh from HubSpot. He was talking MozCon last year, and he said the mistake he made at the beginning was doing all lead gen. He didn't do the brand awareness side, and looking back, he wishes he'd split it in two. So that was good validation also from him that I was doing the right thing.
Well, tell me, do you think that advice, because our audience consists of a lot of consultants, entrepreneurs, and small and medium-sized businesses. Do you think that still holds true today? Keep that balance of lead generation and brand awareness out there?
Absolutely. I mean, and one tends to feed the other in some respects, but you can target a fairly small niche if you just do lead gen route and just drive people in there. But if you start doing guest posts in all different areas, different parts of your target market, you can just extend your reach much, much faster. And if you're driving people back from then to a lead gen form, like a landing page or something, then you're doubling up. So momentum kind of spurs them both together.
Yeah, I have to say you were very effective in Oli Gardner first, Unbounce second. I don't know if that was by design, but I think you had kind of a charismatic rock star kind of approach that you took. So it kind of led, and it was awesome because you still have that persona out there today. And I remember back years ago when it all started. So it worked, brother.
Yeah, that was. It wasn't exactly a thought out plan as much, but I guess just my writing style, because it's very honest and opinionated. It tends to. I don't know, it's authentic, right? It doesn't change. I always talk in the same kind of way, and people liked it, luckily. And yeah, so I guess that did build my personal brand, if you want, maybe more quickly, and then they became, associated, but definitely a good thing to have.
Absolutely. Like I say, it is what it is. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I'm gonna just back up a minute and just talk about the lead gen approach. So there are a couple of business models out there now, and I seem to. You guys have a 30-day free trial at Unbounce. You also have, if you read the fine print, don't want to take a 30-day free trial, try it for free. So tell me about that and how that's staggered, and what's the marketing mentality behind that whole setup there.
A couple of things. I mean, when the pricing thing affects things a lot, and then what you can look at when we started, we had a lower first tier pricing. It was $25, and we found that the customer type that we got in there wasn't our ideal customer. They were people that really didn't understand marketing at all. They just wanted to be online, so they should have been with someone like Wix or Squarespace or something. And it was too much of a burden on our customer success team because they're having to help out a lot and teach people how to be marketers, which isn't our job. With our content, we'd like to teach people to be better marketers, but it's not day one stuff. So we just boosted the prices up a bit, and that solved that problem almost overnight. And then the free option, we just want to reduce the barrier a bit without completely opening it. Because when we did turn on the pricing compared to just having free, it made a big impact. You think that a lot of people are going to run away when they see the credit card thing. A lot of them do. At this point, we don't have like a live kind of go in, try it out version. You have to go in for the free sign up. But the free sign, it's really interesting. The power of A/B testing, or the power of A/B testing to make things go wrong. We were testing our pricing page, and we put another piece of content in there which pushed the sign up for free, the one below. It pushed it down further, and that killed us for about 3 weeks. The amount of free signups we get, because they're still very valuable because they upgrade at some point, and our numbers they just tanked completely.
You saying your overall numbers tanked, free and paid, or just the free?
Yeah, because the free
Wow.
tanked a lot, but then all the people that would upgrade from free, that went down as well, just for moving that you want to kick the tires, that free sign up that you're talking about, moving it down like 300 pixels. Eventually we figured it out and moved it back up, but
Wow, you know what? This speaks to what you do for a living.
yeah.
Is conversion design.
Mm-hmm.
Lessons learned the hard way.
Yeah. It's a dangerous weapon.
So just to kind of circle back, the 30-day free trial is there. And then you also have the free trial, a little bit lower on the page. And you find success in the free, not the trial, but the free version, in that they eventually upgrade, or a percentage of them do.
A percentage of them do, yeah. You got to mix it up. We're still trying to find the right mix of how much we want to bring the free to light. We've had it. I think we used to have it on the pricing grid itself as one of the columns, and when we took that away, we had a good spike in, the revenue went up quite significantly. So
yeah, there's a lot of chemistry there about whether the value, the perceived value, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate you opening up or pulling back the curtain on the marketing mindset behind those two, because
sure.
Very interesting. I want to ask you about Unbounce, and have you? What's the mentality? Have you guys made it? I mean, is this where you want to be? Obviously, you want to grow more and increase your market share, but there's no turning back. You guys are success, and you're going to just keep getting better. Is that the mindset, or maybe?
Yeah, we're in no way done. Like I said, we're growing fast, and we've doubled in headcount and revenue the last 2 years running, and we want to just keep doing that. I mean, in terms of direction, we're still not, what we would term feature complete. We're very close, but there are these things. There's some features, we call them the big four, that we're working on. We're working on all of them right now. When those are done, it will look like, in our minds, where we'd imagined it a couple of years ago. And then the exciting part there is we can start innovating.
So you're still building?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Cool. But just to get back to, you guys have made. There's no turning back.
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely not.
So talking about present day and big value, big business. That's what I'm all about. Just trying to get in the heads of people that are marketing out there that lead with value. What is the value proposition or mission statement for Unbounce these days?
Same as it was on day one. Build, publish, and A/B test landing pages without IT. We're really trying to help marketers do marketing more effectively and without all the pains that are associated with dealing with technical people. That's why we started the company. We felt the pain in our past jobs, and it still exists a lot. I mean, I do a lot of research, clicking on ads, seeing how people are treating, the destination, their landing pages, and it's disastrous. There's so many people that don't do it right still, like a very large majority. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm trying to fix that.
I'm right with you, brother, because I sell AdWords, and I do a lot of AdWords, and these landing pages, they're horrible. They're horrible. Yeah. I try to point them in the right direction, but you're right. So it's still a long way to go, but I totally love it that you're trying to unshackle people from being under the throes of their developer or web designer, and they can just do their own thing and create their own campaigns.
Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful. So on that note, could you give me maybe your number one takeaway you would give to a small business owner as far as creating a good landing page solution? Like, what would be the first thing that you would recommend if you were to consult somebody as far as a good landing page solution for conversion?
Like an actual landing page, or
Yeah,
overall
what like if you could give like three best practices to for someone to design their landing page.
Yeah. Well, structurally, you got to start off in the right way. Best practices are only relevant when you're building your first page. After that, forget about them. Then you just got to start testing it and getting feedback and evolving that way. But to start with, five basic elements on your page that have to be there. You've got your USP, your headline, your value proposition. You've got a hero shot, which should ideally be showing your product or service in context of use, like how it actually is being used by a real person. Um, all the features of your product written as benefits, some social proof, and a call to action. Now, they're the five basic things, but then you need to start applying some rules of conversion-centered design. Search for conversion-centered design. It's a term I came up with. There's lots. Page one of Google, you'll find a whole bunch of stuff. It's about using design elements to draw attention to the most important part of your page, which is your call to action. I'm actually, will be perfect. Oh, this isn't going. When's this going out, James?
Oh, probably in about 3 weeks.
Okay,
2 to 3 weeks.
I'm doing a webinar tomorrow that would answer all these questions.
Oh, I signed up.
Cool.
Hey, give me that. What is that term again? Could you repeat that term?
Conversion-centered design.
Conversion-centered design.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
CCD. Yeah, and more than that, I think if people just walk around the web, search for something that you're interested in, click on a bunch of ads and see what happens when you get to the next page. And it's a terrible experience across the board. If you can match the message in the ad to the headline on the landing page, you're way ahead of most people. It's so simple. Just make those things exactly the same. You'll get a higher quality score, lower cost per click, higher conversion rates. It's just that stupidly simple.
You're a man after my own heart. I thump that day in and day out. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, well, but I did sign up for the webinar. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Oli for a second, just as we wind things down. But I just want to talk about mindset. I mean, aside from Red Bull, what do you use to I don't know what gets you going, dude? The productivity, accountability. I mean, you got you're rocking and rolling over there. What?
Yeah.
I call it the business mindset. How do you get into it?
Okay. That's pretty easy. Productivity wise, I just work all the time. It's that simple. I mean, not everyone can do that. I happen to have the flexibility to do that. Yeah, so I work from when I get up to when I go to bed. I love working late, like very late. That's where, my brain stops working. But in terms of like really getting great things done, that's where I use accountability. So the way I do it is I vocalize my intentions with as many people as I can, right? I say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it really well and blah, blah, blah. And then there's a level of peer pressure that comes with that so that you have to live up to it. When I was writing the second guest post for Moz, I told their CEO, Rand Fishkin, we've become friends, and I emailed him. I said, I'm going to do another post. He's like, awesome. What's it going to be about? I said, I can't tell you, but it's going to be epic. Now, because I told him it was going to be epic, it had to be epic, which is why it became the thing it was. So simply by stating that, I produced our biggest piece of content and our biggest brand awareness move that we've ever done. Just by putting myself in that position. It's also how I ended up moving to Canada in the first place, doing the same thing. So that's what works for me. Just
proclaim it to as many people as you can, then you have to live up to it.
Exactly, yeah.
Love it, man. I totally love it. I ask that question a lot, and I get a whole bunch of answers, but that one seems to be resounding is accountability. And it brings me right into the next question. I hear a lot about groups and masterminds and communities. Do you have a core group, a mastermind, or even someone that you follow that you get inspiration from?
This I don't. It's I'm very. I used to follow a bunch of people, online, and then then I kind of stopped doing that. Now I used to read every marketing book. I have like over 100 of them, and they're pretty much all garbage. I learn one thing in all of them. And once you reach a certain point of knowledge, there's nothing else to be learned in them. What I have been doing is reading a lot more business and psychology books, because that allows you to apply a different way of thinking to your marketing. So that's where I get my inspiration from these days. It's not necessarily a person. It's a network, really. When you read any of these business psychology and marketing psychology books, there's a strong network. Everybody talks about each other. They're all kind of interconnected. So I guess that community is who I'm paying attention to right now. I can't name many names off the top of my head.
No. Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer to that. It's just like what you're obviously a brilliant guy. You've got a lot going on. You're making it happen. I just like to know what you read about, where you do your research. And I have a lot of guys, there's no, some people really rely on masterminds and community and mentors. Mm-hmm. Other guys are subject matter, and it sounds like you're more that subject matter driven to where I want to learn about XYZ. So you look up XYZ and you get a couple different opinions, and you see something that resonates with you, and then you take your deep dive.
Yeah, and I like trying as much as I can to help develop new kind of marketing theories and approaches. So I get a lot of one of our biggest challenges here at Unbounce is because we have a marketing platform for marketers. So we're marketing to marketers. So we have to be so good at our marketing so that they respect what we do and in turn respect the product. So that means that we have to respond with, in quotes, thought leadership by pushing new ideas. Right, and constantly evolving. So that's my challenge, and that's what I really love doing.
And you get that inspiration. I'm dissecting you here, brother. So you get that inspiration through diving into off-channel business psychology and the like.
Yeah, and sometimes just looking at the way we do our marketing and then going, we could do that a lot better if we did this.
Yeah, man.
Or I'll learn some insight from a test we run and go, we need a new theory to kind of push that forward.
Yeah, I totally hear you. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I'm sorry I didn't mean to put you on the spot because there's no right or wrong answer. It's just like, where do you get your stuff? And that was beautifully put. So I'm just going to wrap things up. Tell me about any projects you got going on, any products that are rolling out, anything you want my listeners or our listeners to know about, and then the best way we can contact you.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm most excited about is one of the features we're working on right now. It's dynamic keyword insertion or replacement. This is for PPC marketers, doing AdWords and whatever. You should have a targeted dedicated landing page for every single ad. But that's overwhelming if you have hundreds of ads. But with this dynamic keyword replacement feature, you can have one page for all of these ads, and it dynamically replaces the content on the page with what was in the ad. Now, we have some early beta users on this, and they're blown away. Their quality scores are going up, the conversion rates are going up, the cost per click is going down, just because of what I talked about before, the message match. And this is automatically done at this point. So I think that's going to be a game changer for a lot of marketers. So I can't wait to get that in the hands of everybody.
Yeah, I love that. I messed around with that a little bit with way back in the day with Speed PPC /WordPress, but it was so clunky and it really didn't work well. So anything you guys put out is world class. I can't wait to see that product. And could you, what is it called again?
Dynamic keyword insertion or replacement. Dynamic keyword replacement, I think we're calling it.
Cool. And that's still in beta. When do you think that'll be out for the masses?
Ooh, hard to say. I don't know off the top of my head, but
let me put it this way: I'll contact you offline if I can get on that beta.
For sure. Yeah, just hit me up.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, so and where can we reach you?
Oh yeah, on Twitter, Oli Gardner, or you know what, I'm an open book, so oli@unbounce.com, oli@unbounce.com. That's my email.
You sure are an open book, and you were very gracious to come on my show and to talk to my people. And I do appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you again, I hope, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, Oli.
My pleasure, James. Thanks a lot.
Okay, sir. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. All right. I hope you enjoyed our chat today with Mr. Oli Gardner. Please visit Oli at unbounce.com or on Twitter at Oli Gardner. You can find the show notes and the highlights of this interview at bigvaluebigbusiness.com/episode 13. That's episode 13. Or just go to bigvaluebigbusiness.com and type Oli, that's OLI, into the search box for easy access. Hey, and while you're on the site, please take a second and leave a comment, either about this interview, about the podcast overall, or tell me what you'd like to hear us talk about. Give me any questions or challenges you may have with your business. I would love to be able to find the expert that would have the answers you need and have them on the podcast. So talk to me over at bigvaluebigbusiness.com. Lastly, I really hope we brought some big value into your day. You take care, and I'll be talking to you real soon.
Thanks for listening to the Big Value Big Business Podcast at www.bigvaluebigbusiness.com.